Coach Tommy Moffitt was with us last week. We were talking a lot about the offseason. He's stopping back by with us here on this Wednesday. Coach, you had a chance to hook up with one of our great supporters here at Guarantee Media, Roadrunner Towing, who is a great friend of ours, Miss Judy Smart, Val, and the crew over there. I know they took care of you and the boys last week.
Yeah, we had a little problem. Clay and Aaron had been fishing, killing some serious catfish, and the axle broke on the trailer.
Wow.
And so we called Val and Frankie, and my man Hump showed up. He was a pro, and put the boat on the back of, actually had to put the trailer and the boat on the back of the truck and bring it to the house and deliver it. And it was just unbelievable, man. It was dark and we were worried, but they took good care of us. They were unbelievable.
So now I see how Jordy got you back here again in classic Italian fashion, using the tow truck. Hey, he doesn't want your arms or your legs.
Just want your toes, Coach.
I've heard you say it 1,000 times.
Hey, you call, they haul.
Coach Tommy Moffitt here with us on Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Coach O was here yesterday morning, and T-Bob asked him for a rundown of the offensive line, Coach, and he went left to right and talked about the two deep at every position. And he's talking about the transformation as that position is made, because when they took the job, when Coach O got the job, there was only 8 scholarship offensive linemen in that first spring. So it shows on the recruiting what's been done from a weight room standpoint. When you see the amount of guys that have to be prepared for the fall, what's the challenge for your group?
Well, right now it's texting and calling and FaceTiming these guys every day. I actually have a Zoom meeting with Coach Craig and the entire offensive line this afternoon to talk about, this very thing about making sure that you're getting out, that you're running, you're doing your sprints, you're lifting, finding something, whether it's pushing a car up and down the driveway or using the resistance bands that we sent them, and doing all that you can to be great. And, it's awesome because Coach Craig works. And this is not I'm not trying to sell. This is not a recruiting pitch. Of all the coaches on our staff, he probably utilizes me more than anybody. I'm constantly. Last night I went on a Zoom call with a recruit. It was just he and I, the recruit, and a parent, and that happens that happens once a week, I believe, and then I've gone on at least once every other week, sometimes twice a week this summer with the offensive line and the Zoom meetings. So hats off to Coach Craig, leaving no stone unturned, dotting his I's, crossing his T's on this group of guys. He works his tail off.
I know this period has been adverse for you guys as far as trying to practice, train, and being able to reach out and just touch the players. Has there been anything through this process that you've learned that you may carry over that has helped you guys out when they may be away, or has helped the production of the department?
Yeah, a lot. There's a couple of things a couple of projects that we're working on with some vendors. I think that is really going to be helpful down the road, not just in opportunities or situations like this, but for everyday athletes. We've got a few things, again, that we've been working on. But, the main thing is how resilient our players are and how hard some of these guys work when you're not looking. The videos that we have gotten from them, and the imagination that they're using to do things, and the Instagram has probably got more stuff on it than Twitter, but now you can't buy a bicycle, you can't go anywhere and buy a kettlebell or a dumbbell. I wish I would have been in the home gym business. I would have made a killing. But the things that our guys are doing with some of the most archaic implements and drills. It has been phenomenal, and hats off to these guys. And I keep my fingers crossed, and I worry about them. But then when I see what the vast majority of these guys are doing to stay in shape, it has been phenomenal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Rocky IV scene, right? You just got some wood or something heavy to lift, and you're gonna find a way. Coach, speaking of finding a way, you are an excellent recruiter. Makes sense that James Keck would take advantage of you. However, it is interesting that when you actually show up on campus, that night, like, I don't know what happened to him. He was so nice. He was so like, yeah, you're going to be great here. And then all of a sudden that first meet, I mean, it's like, okay, time to get down to business here. So with a different arrival date here, have you changed? Like, how do you handle this incoming class of freshmen?
Yeah, I don't know yet, T-Bob.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And a lot of it's going to have to do with, the date, our reporting date. We're planning on June 1.
Okay.
And then it also is going to be determined largely in part to what the NC2A and the SEC will allow us to do. I want to give them a conditioning test. I think it's important. It doesn't. While you're laughing, I heard that.
That was a terrifying day for me. That day one 26 110 conditioning test.
Yeah, and we have guys. I talked to a couple of guys yesterday that have, and I don't want to embarrass them by calling their name out, but they've passed the conditioning test every time they've done it. We have, I was talking to two guys yesterday. One has passed it all 3 times, crushed it, made all 26 reps. The other one has done it twice, made all 26 reps. And they were talking about how challenging it still is, not physically, but mentally and emotional.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of people say, why would you do that many reps? It goes far beyond energy systems and strength and conditioning. It has something to do. You're testing more of a person's willpower and intestinal fortitude and mental toughness. And that plays a huge role. And one of the reasons I know that we were so successful down the stretch this past season, when you look at the schedule of Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and then going and playing in the SEC championship and beating Georgia and then Oklahoma and then beating Clemson, man, that took a lot out of you. And whether it was Kyle Williams when he was a senior, and who said that, oh, Coach, 26 too easy, we should run 36, or it's more than just a conditioning test.
Yeah.
It's a character test, and so. You're a classic example of somebody that had to push themselves.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you make the first 16 and struggle to finish the 10, or you make all 26 reps in your assigned time. It takes a lot. It does. Like those two guys yesterday, it took everything they had to do it. And that's the benefit of it. And so hopefully we'll be able to do some form of that. I'm hoping and praying that we do. I think it's important for our overall development. But if we don't, or I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how all this unfolds in the next couple of weeks. And again, what the NC2A and SEC will allow us.
It's always great to talk to you, Coach. Thanks for stopping by this morning.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You got
Thanks
it. There
so much,
he is,
Coach.
Coach Tommy Moffitt checking in this morning from LSU football. He's
Damn
getting
right, dude.
That 2021-2020 team prepared to defend a national title, and he's got to do it in some quirky off-season ways.
That 110 test will make you, like he said, physically, yes, every fiber of your body's in a ton of pain, but it will make you go to mental depths that you didn't realize that you could quite reach. I saw Joe Barksdale one day run 43 of them.
Oh.
43. I ran 36 one time because he was so mad at me for not making my times, and a thunderstorm saved me.
It's hot, too, right now.
Yeah, so I don't know if they do it like this anymore, but back in the day, just to kind of give you that freshman orientation, on that test day, it was the first day that you were there. And then on that test day, you would have to go lift weights at 7 a.m. So you do your heavy bench squat and clean at 7 a.m., go to school, tutoring, and everything all day, and then you'd have to come back to run outside at 4 p.m.
What a long day.
Yeah.
Like thinking about that I have to go
terrible,
back.
Terrible. I remember being in like sociology class, and already everything's new. It's college. It's kind of crazy. And I was just terrified because I'd never run a 110. I never run a single one. I mean, we were supposed to before we showed up, right? Like senior high school, I was just partying senior high school, and it was I didn't quit. I didn't make my times. I didn't quit. But yeah, it was kind of a welcome to the big leagues type moment.